we are live.
We're
Mr.
live.
Lokes,
What is happening,
another
bro?
episode of the UnBeefables, number
How you
2
doing?
on Valentine's Day 2020.
Valentine's Day,
Yeah, yeah.
February the 14th.
And it is a
Happy
frigid bitch this
Valentine's
day.
Day.
It is a
It's a what?
frigid bitch tonight.
It is pretty cold over here too.
How many degrees do y'all have out there?
How many degrees? I actually don't know. It
I
feels
mean,
like 30.
yeah, we're
No,
two
let's
away
see.
from me being able to count them on my fingers. I should.
Really?
Oh yeah,
It's
a
like 34
whopping
here. It's like
12
34
degrees
here.
in Northeast Ohio. Very
Damn.
cold. But
It's
that's not stopping us, man. We got some stuff to talk about today, don't we?
I got a couple of things.
Yeah, a couple things on your
Yeah,
mind.
man. Yeah, man. This was I'm gonna
I
explain
mean,
actually a little
like,
bit where you're getting these from.
completely unshameless plug here. You've been doing some videos lately that people may or may not have seen me retweet. I don't know. Is that
Hold on.
possible?
Wait, sorry. My headphones fell out of my ear for a second.
I was
So
doing
so
a shameless plug for your
for my
videos,
for my
Lokes
channel.
takes.
So that's kind of what we're gonna do here. We're gonna go through a couple of the things that I was talking about this week on my YouTube channel, which I will promote at the end of the podcast, obviously, and tell you guys where to find all that stuff. But
Yeah.
the whole point of that is yeah, man, I wanted to get your take on some of this stuff because we haven't talked about some of this.
No, and it's
There's been
funny.
crazy things happening.
I had to catch up on a couple of them, but even then, apparently, I missed a few of your newer ones. So,
What was the last one you checked out, man?
what was the last one I checked out? Oh God, man. The last one was it the Gail King one?
Oh, I didn't do that.
No. It was,
No, I didn't hit that. I didn't hit that. I've actually stayed away from that
that was-
after Snoop Dogg got punked.
yeah,
Because I didn't respond to it quick enough, and Snoop Dogg got punked, and I was like, I'm out on this one.
maybe that was a tweet I saw you do. It wasn't even.
Yeah, I might have retweeted something. But anyway, there's a bunch of stuff that happened, man. Like Dwayne Wade told the
Dwayne
world
Wade,
that
yes.
his 12-year-old son is transgender.
I
Think
didn't
about
even
that.
see your video, but that I've seen on the national news, and the fact that.
Yeah, I know. It's national news. It's wild.
Well, what's funny is I even said it to someone. I work in the restaurant industry. I said it to one of the customers. I'm like, man, that kind of says something about his legacy, and they agreed. I was like, damn. I said it as a joke to see like the reaction. The guy was like, it really does ruin his legacy. I'm like, dude, that was a joke. I was supposed to back that up. I was saying that, and I was.
All right, I was supposed to back that up.
Well, yeah, like I said that to him, and I was gonna be
You
like,
expect him to just agree with you.
well, I had a line to follow it up. I was like, yeah, it's really gonna tarnish his legacy. I'm like, well, not his basketball one, just as a father. Like, and then
Yeah.
kind of go from there. Like, but he was just like all in. He's like, yep, nope, fuck the basketball player.
He's
Fuck
like, yeah,
everything he's
fuck
done.
that
Like,
guy.
whoa, that's a lot of
Yeah,
something there.
I mean, it's pretty ridiculous in my opinion. Like I think it's pretty wild that like people are like think that this is support.
I mean, all
Like
it
I have no
does-
problem with like people being trans, like adult people
Yeah.
being trans or whatever. Like whatever,
But
dude. Like I'm
kids.
not really like that. Yeah,
Kids.
it's like
To
you don't
me,
want to
he
give your
loses
kid
points as a
a
dad.
life-altering decision like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
But to me, parents are supposed to be your guide through that.
right, exactly.
Like, I don't know. I never really had I don't know. I never really doubted my sexuality as a kid. Actually, more as an adult than anything.
Well, I don't think that when we were kids,
But-
it was really a thing that adults
No.
were talking to us about.
Well, and the thing is, here's the thing, dude. I was literally driving just today. There's a condom fucking billboard on the freeway, and like as a kid, I don't remember like when I was 10. I don't remember there being whether there were or not. I don't remember there being condom billboards. You know what I'm saying? So like when I was
Yeah,
driving
well-
just the other day, and I saw that, I'm like, wonder how many kids like see that and they're like, "Yep, that's what mom and dad use
Well,
to make
I
sure I
mean,
don't have brothers and sisters." Like,
I mean, if they
they
there
can wrap their
were
head around the concept,
if there were condom ads and you were a kid and you didn't notice them, then wouldn't you presume that children nowadays wouldn't notice them?
Well, that's kind of what I mean. Is like we will.
Or
like,
are they
the-
being
the cat's
pointed
out of
towards
the
them?
bag now, man? Like the moment a kid has access to the internet, it's like I don't even blame the kid. It's like Pandora's box,
Yeah.
Mom and dad never
I mean, I
answer
think
the
that's
question.
true.
Because
That's
like
definitely true.
I think that's the reason why we have like religion to a point. I not to get open up in religion real
What,
quick. I'm talking.
technology?
No. Like kids development.
Well,
It's
yeah,
like-
I mean, that's part of
It's
it.
like the
yeah.
whole concept of religion. I don't really want to take this to a religion podcast again, but I'm actually speaking
You brought
culturally.
it up, man.
but like culture, I'm actually meaning this more culturally. It's like as a kid, well, religion in general, you ask like, where do we come from? And so, like to me,
Yeah.
church is we all get together. And we're like, we all believe God did it. We're like, okay, cool. And then like, that's enough for a kid to not have sex.
Yeah, but
They're
do
like,
you know?
we came from
Well,
God, and that's enough.
not really. I wouldn't say that's enough
Until
for
hormones
kids to not
hit.
have
Until hormones
sex.
hit.
No,
No.
I don't think that's true because I don't think that
Sometimes,
it
dude.
quells curiosity about like
Well,
that kind of stuff.
yeah.
I mean, to exactly
I mean
like
it
it depends
more.
on their relationship with like the people around them too, and like
Yeah.
what like you know like because certain people kind of just like they're more open and like I don't really know what the exact balance of that is, but you know I mean you know what the argument against that is going to be, right? It's like this is it's
Yeah.
biology
It
and
gets
you know
weird because people have different experiences too. Like I don't know. There's some people like they're exposed to like sexual stuff real soon, and then there's people
yeah
like, man, I run into adults that
they're
it's
like
like their
too
first
innocent.
time. It's like their first time
Yeah,
hearing about it. I'm like, oh shit, dude. Like, this is the way I talk
yeah,
to my younger cousins, and they're in high school.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like, but I think that we almost lost sight of the topic
Oh
because
yeah. Sorry.
realistically, like being transgender
Right.
is not a sexuality type.
Right. Well, yeah. I
It's
guess
not like a
the reason
sexual
I
orientation.
segued was just my
It
experience.
doesn't
Is
really have
like
anything to do with sex.
right. Well, it does in a way
I
because
mean,
it's like
in
your
a way.
identity. It's your identity. It's
Well, it's like well, because people tie it in as
yeah.
like a sexual orientation, like being gay or
Yeah.
something, when it's really not though.
No.
This is like it's not feeling comfortable in your body. It's wanting to like be something else, which like we have other disorders like that, right? We
Right.
have body dysmorphia, right? We have like anorexia and bulimia and things like that. So like that's more closely related to something like that, where it's like you don't feel
Sorry.
comfortable in your own skin. And the problem with that happening to like a 12-year-old, in my opinion, is that in this way, especially so public, is that when you're 12 and 13 and stuff, you probably aren't feeling comfortable in your own skin. You're trying to
No.
like
Well,
develop.
no.
So you're going
No
through a
one
lot of
really
shit. It's
does.
very low. And when you couple that with like the extreme low probability of like transgender people in the first place, like at least that we like, know of now, like the percentage of people who identify with having gender dysphoria, it's
Yeah.
really low.
Yeah.
So it's like you put those
Well,
two things together and you're like, is this really a good thing for a 12-year-old boy to be doing? Especially like
right.
when you look at like,
Well, I was gonna
go
say
ahead.
the attention. I was gonna say the attention is one big thing I find.
Yeah.
Is I've had a lot of people, especially the older generation, will say phases a lot. They say like I had a phase. I had like a phase where I was a little more promiscuous in a certain way. But what I find is a lot of obviously married couples. This is the people I'm referring to. Is like their mother or father, depending on who I'm referring to, and they obviously live a normal hetero life now, but they said they're like, yeah, there was a time where I didn't know, and it was a phase of something they learned from. So all I see is a lot of times it's like it's almost arrested development in a way, and I'm sure that's a spicy take for a lot of people, but that's the way I see it. It's like it's all how like when you're working out, you're supposed to like break the muscle and like repair and come back. It's like you're staying in the era of breaking and not like repairing. You know what I mean? You're not bouncing back. You're supposed to like learn something about who you are as a person, but you're just kind of like what you changed yourself to be is just what you became,
Right,
And there's
right.
not necessarily anything wrong with that, but the thing is, the issue I think most conservatives and liberals have is conservatives are like, well, we have to make more people, and like the more liberal minded or leftist or whatever you want to call that, mentality is they're like, well, why do I have to? And the funny thing is, as a libertarian, I sit here and go, well, you don't. You really don't have to. It's just like most
Well,
people agree we should. Because you're a
well,
good person,
yeah.
you should have more kids that look like you to combat the next generation of retards.
Sure.
So
I mean, like, then people, I mean, the argument with that would just be like, oh, well, they can do that because you have people like Clay Monroe or whatever, but that person was an adult, right? And the thing about it is, I think that you're right. I think that that's a lot of the pushback against that, especially when it comes to kids, because you're making decisions that will affect your reproductive functions.
And
You know what I'm saying?
They really can't wrap their heads around the decision yet either.
Right.
I think it's hard. I mean, the few I've talked to, even not even trans, I really don't have much exposure to trans. trans people. I'm not. It's like weird to even refer to
Yeah,
it.
I mean, like,
But
no, I mean, I have.
through
I lived
through
in California for a long time.
no, well, not to say that I don't, but I don't have intimate. Like
I'm
I have
just
more
like,
intimate exposure with like several gay people, and they're
sure, yeah.
coming out, and they told me about it, and the apprehension. To me, if there's no healthy apprehension, I wonder if you're even gay in the first place. If you're only doing it because you're riding
Yeah,
the high.
I think that that's a good point too, where it's
You
like,
know,
yeah, I
like
mean, especially
you're
when you
really
come,
gay if you stay gay in the lows. If you're
well, like,
not only riding the highs.
well, that's like, what does it say? It's like that's like, have you heard of like rapid onset gender dysphoria? Have you heard of that?
I've heard the terminology, not something I've really looked into though. It kind of seems
Okay.
something self-explanatory. I didn't really,
Well, so
flesh
it's
it
pretty
out.
much they see it a lot with like teenage girls right now, basically, and it's like one girl in a group will like come out as transgender, and then like all of a sudden the whole group is
Oh,
transgender, and
wow.
it's like they're thinking it's like kind of like a peer like kind of spreading
Dude,
thing.
honestly, when you think of just the way human development's like the way we come from primates, the way like we create our social circles, the way we like learn, the way we form like our hierarchies. That's kind of interesting because, well, just women in general, they tend to form they're the ones that form the packs. The men aren't necessarily the ones that
Yeah,
do
the
that.
social bonds. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's their responsibility.
We normally tie ourselves to a woman, and the woman is the one who ties us to the network, essentially.
Right,
Like we have our own network, but it's like the more cohesive one is always the one established by the women.
right.
So to me, that just goes to show like if there's any like truth to that data, to the data that would correlate to that, would be women are susceptible to the alpha much stronger than the male. Say like you probably have a few guys you look up to, right? And just because they
Sure.
wear like a Gucci shirt, the susceptibility you are to buy the Gucci versus a girl in her alpha, be like, well, now I have to buy Gucci. You know what I mean?
Well, now you're
That might be
assuming that there's such
stronger.
thing as an alpha female, which that is not a thing.
Well,
There's only alpha males. The alpha females just ape the behavior of alpha males.
I'm saying like your tribal chief. Like there's always
No,
the
no, I
leader
get
of the
it. Well,
pack.
no,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
really like it's a peer thing, right? So it's like
Right.
you don't want to be left out of the in group, and the need to
Right.
want to be in the in group is more powerful than the need to,
That's really
actually
that's really
go
where the
with
difference is.
nature. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
in some places, right? And that's like, I mean, that kind of permeates throughout larger society. But the point of that is that it's like there's a lot of people that are just susceptible to, especially kids, are susceptible to the influences around them. And so like we can't necessarily take the word of someone, especially like if you're not gonna even like, go to like a professional, like in Dwayne Wade's case, he said that
Oh
they
yeah.
went to the cast of Pose.
Of what?
Pose. It's like it's a TV show. I think it's on
Oh, okay.
Netflix,
The
and it's
cast you said, like the
like
people in it.
yes, like
Okay.
Billy Porter is on that show.
Oh
That's
God.
an example,
Okay.
right?
All right. All
So
right. So
it's like, okay, well, so you're gonna go to like people who are
confirmation bias
basically
central.
yeah,
Like
exactly,
what?
confirmed bias.
Do you just want this to be a thing? Like that's where. Okay.
Yeah,
There's a little truth to my joke that I led this with because I know that sounds bad, but it's the fact that I do lose some respect as Dwayne Wade as a father. Like
yeah, me too,
I
definitely.
and that's not something I'm gonna walk back either. That's a
Yeah,
line in the
yeah,
sand I'm gonna make, and like
I agree.
he really I feel bad because actually Dwayne Wade is one of the few NBA athletes I really respect because he stayed with the Heat. I mean, obviously he did the weird thing where he came to Cleveland and Chicago, but he did a lot for Miami for a long time, for pretty much the first decade of me watching basketball. But then for him to do this, like to
Goes
me,
to show how little that has anything to do with his character.
well, that's what I was gonna say. Is it's like the first chance he like lost the spotlight instead of like, to me,
It's
all it is.
Gabrielle Union, man.
Do you
It's his
think it
wife.
is? Do you think it is? I don't know much
Oh,
about her.
absolutely.
Okay.
The first video I did about this, I talked about this. Like, she's 10
Oh.
years older than him, for example.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Right?
I mean, I
Yeah.
knew she was like attractive, but I
No,
never
no,
looked
let
into
me
her
give you some
age.
facts about her.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. She's 10 years older than him,
Okay.
first off.
Yeah.
Second, she cannot have children. She's infertile. By the time they got married, she was
Really?
infertile. And she
Really?
always wanted to have a
Just
kid, but she couldn't do it.
just ran out
Right?
of eggs, or
I
because
guess so.
that
Yeah. I don't
happens
know the
at
exact
right about that
details.
age.
I
It
know that
sounds
she
like.
was infertile when they got married.
Oh, that's yeah, rough.
Um, and I know that she wanted to have kids too. And I'd imagine this is theory central,
No,
but
I'm
I would
already.
imagine that you
You've already
could,
incepted the idea. I'm following
yeah,
you.
I would imagine that you could think like perhaps she always wanted a daughter and this is how she's getting it,
Yeah.
kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
And especially because you're getting so much clout because she's in Hollywood and doing all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you
Yeah.
can't put a pass on these people to use their
And
kids.
that's not the same kid
Really
that's
right.
playing basketball, right? That's the other kid. This is the other kid.
No, that's not the same
Right.
kid.
So he's double dipping, dude. He's got
Well, yeah,
he's
sure.
got like a 5-star recruit and
Yeah.
he's got a trans kid. He's
Yeah, it's pretty wild, you know.
Oh, dude, fame whoring. That's all I see it as. If
Well,
I
it's
give
like,
it
yeah.
one word, fame whoring.
I mean, like, I saw a story where it talks about, like, apparently his biological mother is not gonna call him a she.
Good.
To do it.
God bless her. I mean, if,
And I
I mean
was
that
like,
like, if that's what she believes, you know, good for her. You know, it's got to be tough to stand up to your millionaire son who like did.
yeah,
That's
you need to get that kid the fuck out of Hollywood. That's what
that's
I mean. Like,
gotta
here's
be
something that I
issue.
noticed.
Yeah.
Here's something that I noticed. Dwayne Wade made no mention of even questioning his son at all.
Really? Oh,
right.
I didn't know that.
Like, you would think that like if my son did that, if I had a son and my son did that, two questions would come out of my mouth. Who gave you that idea? Like, where'd you get that idea from?
Uh-huh.
Right? And then the second would be, how do you know what it feels like to be a girl?
Ah, that's interesting.
You're a boy.
Yeah.
How do you know what it feels like to be a girl? Yeah. And listen to the answer. Because you can totally debunk that entire situation almost immediately.
You know, the third question I would have is, who likes to talk to you about being a girl?
Right, exactly.
Who brought that up?
Right, where'd you get this idea from?
Auntie who?
Where'd you get this idea
Auntie
from?
who? You know, like.
But I would rephrase it because I said who. I would rephrase it to where'd you get this idea?
Okay, where's probably better. Yeah, you're right. I was going too direct.
That way it comes instead of like trying to find like somebody to pin it on because the kids have been trained. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's a lot of overly feminine women out there who are always pushing like a weird. It's okay to feel sad sometimes, like all the time, you know. And like huh?
What do you mean, like telling young boys to just like be all emotional?
Let it all out. Yeah, let it all out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily good.
But I think that's where this I think this is where that stems from. It's like, I think
that's part of it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's where it started.
Right. Well, and that's where it comes up. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't know where I'm going with that entirely.
Well, there is a balance, right? Like, there is like a level of, you know, emotion that a man has to be able to manage, right? The problem is, I think that a lot of young men, and this actually has affected a lot of relationships, in my opinion, and I see this a lot, where a lot of young men have been told that they need to be overly emotional, right? They need to like fall into their emotions and be more like the women are. And when you do that, especially when you're in a relationship with a woman, right? Like that gets confusing, right? Because the balance is.
I was about to say, there's
not really
supposed to be a balance. You can't have two emotions.
Throwing it out.
Like,
exactly.
The women are supposed to be calm and like when we have our outbursts, when men get emotional. Obviously, men aren't supposed to be stoic.
I'm with Jesse Lee Peterson on that. Like, if a man gets emotional, he's a woman.
Okay, well, I'm talking like. He's talking mindset. I'm talking pragmatically, you know, because I agree with his mindset. The guy needs to think, I am the volcano, you know, like I am calm all the time. But when I erupt, everyone better duck and cover, you know.
Maybe.
That's like that to me. That's the Jesse Pete.
Or you can like make people duck and cover without erupting. That's how you know you're a boss.
Right. That's the ultimate goal. I'm just talking metaphorically. Yeah. That's being all bark and no bite. You know.
Yeah. But no. Like, because you have a bite, but you don't have to bark because it's all bite and no bark.
I'm not getting stuck on the metaphor. The main thing I'm trying to say though,
mine's correct.
Is the fact that like, the majority of the time the man is supposed to be the stoic. He's supposed to be the emotionless one.
Right.
But the point I'm saying is like your girl's got to be
not emotionless, but like not emotionally driven.
Yeah, you can't.
That's what it is.
The whole point of what Star Wars is trying to teach people, you know,
right?
You can't be a slave to your emotions, but you have to have them because the Jedi are like don't have emotion, and like the whole, you know, cautionary tale is there. Well, you have to have it. You have to control it though.
Right, but so this is the end game of all of this stuff is like you use young men with femininity and then they start to believe that they're women.
Right, and well, the thing is, I think the big thing is like, in general, is the internet has like thrown all these different cultures together, and like when you look at traditional actually a good example is like traditional Indian male masculinity is very different than how about American African American, masculinity.
I mean,
Completely
I
different,
guess like,
but they
what do
both
you mean by
exist.
that though? What do you like? In what ways?
That um Indian men in particular are allowed to do and talk in different ways that to other men like they okay amongst each other in particular. This is my example is like I've eavesdropped obviously serving Indian men and they talk in ways that if I did that around amongst my Caucasian friends, I would get relentless. It's not even
Like
the
what? Let me
language
get an
barrier.
example. Like, what do you
It's
mean?
tonal. It's tonal. I'm saying like the tones of voice. Like in Western culture, you have to talk a little deeper. You get a lot more respect from people when you start talking in a deeper voice. They
I think
talk in.
that's the same in like most cultures. I
The,
think that that's because I think that's
I
more of
wasn't
like
getting
a base
hung up on this
instinct thing.
detail, but my point is
You know what
like
I'm saying?
when you have so many different cultures and there's different like cultural value metrics. I think we just as a collective like internet community have yet to like stratify. Like what goes where. Obviously you got to separate your meals because certain things just don't go well together.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're still trying to figure out is and to get back to the trans thing is it's like I think there should be a conversation about trans. We really should figure it out.
I mean, I
We
think we're
should
having
sweep
that
it
conversation in real time, and a lot of
right.
people are like kind of forcing other people to not have their opinion on it.
They're
That's the
using a
thing.
small moment and bludgeoning people over the head over it with it. It's like this is realistically it's not front page news. It's the first time like we're talking
Well,
about it
the reason why it's front page news is because,
because
to be honest, like this is like not the the norm for like 95% of the population. And so when you like try to make like whole campaigns around things that are very small, it seems like it's like a lot bigger of a thing, especially when you go on the internet and people are just like doubling, triple. Like if you look at the comment section of this video of him when he was on Ellen, like it's like a bunch of people just being like, "Oh, he's so brave and so good," and it's like
oh, there's a word for
I was
that.
watching this. I was watching this video the other day. I can't remember the woman's name for the life of me, but she was talking about how all of this is like being created to like break your will. So it's like
Oh
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
like people, doing crazy things, and you're like, wait a second, this is insane. But like the internet mob is like telling you it's not. It's like almost like the demons, like you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
telling you that like no, you're the wrong one, and like making you feel like you're crazy, even though there
Right.
are a bunch of people who see this crazy shit too. They're just too afraid to talk about it
Well,
because they think that they're not going with the mass opinion. And
I
when
can
it
see
comes to children, I just have to fucking draw the line, man. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
because children don't have enough experience to go off of is really what it comes
Right,
down to. Is like
right.
I think part of being a child is like figuring out what your identity is being confronted like being a kid a lot of time is just living in fear because you just like you've never experienced this shit before. Some kids are a little less fearful,
I
some are
mean, I
more.
wouldn't say all the time. I would hope not. I would hope
No,
you're not scared all the time
not
because
scared
you
all the
should have
time, but I'm saying
your
like
like
you're
parents to at least
constantly
tell you stuff.
you're constantly having firsts is all I'm saying. You're experiencing a lot of firsts more than you do as an adult. So my thing is this is like when you're experiencing your first okay, like when they have some of these trans kids and they're like they are having their sexual like identity confirmed before I had my first kiss, like heterosexually. I'm a heterosexual male. And the funny thing is, the way some of these trans people talk about their agenda is like we are like developmentally behind.
Yeah.
They're
So
like
like,
ahead of us. Like we're
I mean,
stuck in the hetero phase.
yeah. I mean, I think
That to me was
I
one of the
think
most
that's
insightful
insane.
things I've seen on Twitter.
I
Is
think
like
that's the
watching their.
most
Have you seen
insane
that as
thing.
well?
I mean, I believe that that's part of the ideology. Yeah.
It's
I mean, I
more,
think that
yeah.
that's insane. I mean, I think again, like I would just like go back and like I don't even like grouping it with like heterosexuality or homosexuality because it's not a
Mm,
sexuality.
you're right.
The decisions that you
You're
make, it's
right.
like somebody like, for example, Jazz
It is
Jennings, right?
independent. Yep.
You know who that is?
Yep. I know.
Jazz Jennings.
I
So
was
Jazz
thinking of
Jennings
the
like
other
had like
one.
4 gender confirmation surgeries or some crap
Yep.
like that.
Yeah.
The first one like completely like got fucked up. It's like, dude, you're having like a 17-year-old kid cut his dick off
Yeah.
and turn it into a quote unquote vagina when we
Yeah.
all know that like there's no real way. We're not frogs. You know what I
Wait, what do
mean?
you mean
Like
by we're not frogs?
frogs, some species of frogs
Oh
can
yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah,
change their
yeah.
sex and gender.
There's a
Or like
fish
the
that can.
clownfish can do
There's a
that
fish,
too.
yeah, and it's
The
not
clownfish.
clownfish. Is it the clownfish?
Yeah. And
Oh
people
no.
always talk about that.
Well,
But
there's
it's not we're not fucking fish, man.
right. We're not fish or frogs. That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
like, and so like it's really not if And the thing is, too, it's like a lot of the argument, too, is like, well, the part of the ideology is, well, gender has nothing to do with your biological parts. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, then why do we have gender confirmation surgeries anyway? Why do we have that?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. But if you question any of it, you're like a fucking evil person or something like that because you don't agree with fucking Ellen. And honestly, you know what the thing about it is like I thought Ellen was pretty reasonable, and I saw this and I was like, whoa, really? I used to think she was pretty reasonable.
Wait, was Dwayne Wade on Ellen?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll have to
this
watch
is why
that.
you need to watch my video.
Yeah, I have to watch that. I mean, the thing is, I saw the headlines and. Dude, honestly, some of the news that you look into, I like see the headline. I'm like, no, not today. I need to keep my head up. I need to keep my head up today. Like
this. I mean, that's basically what happened. I mean, I think we're pretty much like in accordance. It's like this is just kind of crazy. He's too young, clearly.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts. It's too bad. I'm gonna. I hope that they fucking get through this.
No beef. No beef. We both agree that. Dwayne Wade is dropping the ball as a father. Is that fair to say? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Dropping the bar as a father, I would say. Well, no, I've done 2 videos on Dwayne Wade, and I already said that he's not a self-respecting person. Okay. He's not a self-respecting father.
That's a good way to put it. I just want to say drop the ball because he's a basketball player.
And it's like, dude, it's nothing against trans people. That's not the fucking point, you guys. Like, but like nobody wants to hear that shit. So whatever. Next thing. I got something else.
Yeah, go for it.
So Amanda Seales, you know who that is?
No, but I am at my computer.
She's one of the co-hosts of The Real, which is basically like it's like a black version of The View. She's pretty fine. She looks good. She
is pretty fine. I like that. It's a nice color in hair.
But she is crazy because she said on The View the other day that Jussie Smollett, who I don't know if you know this, he's actually being re-indicted.
For what? Oh shoot! No, I didn't.
For the crimes last year for the Oaks. And because this is back in the news, they were talking about it on The Real, and Amanda Seales straight up said that she thought he was noble for doing what he did. I kid you not.
What?
Yeah. She said that even if it was a hoax, that was low key noble.
Oh yeah, this is 2 days ago. Amanda Seales left fans upset after she expressed her views on Jussie Smollett's false police report case on February 12th episode of The Real. While fans have mixed opinions about what really went down during that supposed attack, the comedian and talk show host stirred up controversy with her opinion. Recent episode of The Real. Okay, here's her quote. Yeah. Even if it was a hoax, this is really happening all the time. And even if it was a hoax, for the sake of bringing attention to this, then I'm like, that's low-key noble.
That's low-key noble.
What?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about it is,
not know what noble means.
No, so she gets really rightfully indignant on there, man, and she says some really crazy shit.
Oh my god.
One of the things she actually said was that she's saying that this is to bring attention to hate crimes, and like that
by making up hate crimes,
get the book thrown at them all the time and things.
Dude,
even withstanding the fact, though, that there's 2 black men that were involved in this that can't get work now because they fucking got participated in this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, so you disenfranchise 2 black men and then waste a bunch of black people's dollars because you're in a fucking city where the mayor is black, the chief of police is black, the fucking state attorney is black. Now. Like, what are you talking about?
Black woman now, by the way.
Yeah, and she's a lesbian, so they should love that.
Because I remember seeing the campaign ads. I didn't know. I'm not surprised. Actually, come to think of it, not surprised. Actually, I have some shit I could say about that, but I'm.
It's just but it's like that part. That part's not. That doesn't matter to this story. But it's like it's like, dude, like you're twisted if you think that's noble. And then we're supposed to sit up and like that's upside fucking down, man.
I'm not sure what the definition of noble, but the way I look at noble is like confronting your, I don't know, issues, your problems head on. And that is the opposite of doing it.
Look at the fucking definition of the word noble, my guy.
I'm just telling you that's the way I look at it. Is like taking your
Check
problems.
this out. Check this out.
Drop it like a sound.
Just definition 1. It's a fucking adjective belonging to a hereditary class with high social or political status. Which, if you're using that definition,
technically it would be noble, yeah.
Then technically it would be noble.
Technically it would be noble. The thing is,
Technically, it would be
the
noble.
caliber of high class people has actually gone quite low recently.
That's true. So the definition it's like quite contradictory to the second definition, which is having or showing fine personal qualities of high moral principles and ideas, which it definitely was not.
No,
my guy.
That's my definition. I take definition 2 on that one, not definition 1.
Definition 2. That's the way she was using it. But if Amanda Seals is smart, she will retort saying that she was using definition 1, which technically it is.
Is that fake hair? I don't know if that's real. Because there's a video of it. Apparently I can see her do it. Oh, yeah.
No, put my video on, dog.
Oh, I'm just looking at the video.
Dude, I'm just playing.
I got like this is from the reel. Like I'm watching the clip of it.
Oh, I got the clip in mind, bro. Don't worry about it.
She looks very angry.
She is mad.
She looks very angry. Yeah, she's not saying this lightly either. Because like I read the quote, I just want to see like, oh, dude, she is like on a podium right now. Oh boy, okay, I can't. I gotta stop. All right, was there something else you want to say about this, or we should move on?
Well, I mean, I just think that it's pretty fucking ridiculous that this woman is on here defending this kind of nonsense and saying that like she had the nerve to bring up Emmett Till. It's like you realize that Emmett Till got killed. You don't know who Emmett Till was?
I probably do.
Oh, bro, like you have to know who that is. He's a black kid who got killed because a white lady said that he like looked at her in the street years and years. You're like,
I heard about this one. I don't remember his name though.
Anyway, she had the nerve to bring that shit up.
Yep, I remember.
And
in Chicago,
it's like you realize that Emmett Till
happened in Chicago too.
Well, Emmett Till also got killed because a woman lied to police about him.
Yeah.
And this guy lied to police.
I'm reading again right now.
How are you even equating the two?
Right.
Like he's the woman in this scenario.
Right. Oh, that's
like what is she even talking about?
Like I said this way back when it happened. I'm like gay men should be offended by this, or not. I don't know. Offended is not even a good word. They should be like disgusted, really. Like that as a gay man, he is like representing them in a way, you know, being a member of their community, as they like to call it. And I would be like, dude, he doesn't represent any of my shit. If I was a gay man, you know, I'd be like, that kind of underhanded bullshit has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but I think it's funny how black people are like, yay. It's like, what? Like, what?
That doesn't help anybody. That doesn't
It's so weird, man. Yeah. It's so weird. It bothers me. It bothers me so much. You know what I mean? Like, black people are like, oh, black people always get locked up, da-da-da. It's like, yo, you realize this motherfucker is rich, bro.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is rich. Like, he's not the average black person. Also, we already have OJ. Like, shut the fuck up.
We already have OJ.
Like, we got it. Like, we got one. You know what I mean? Like, damn.
I'm not touching it. You know, I like conspiracies. I stay the fuck away from OJ.
Oh, man.
I have, as a mixed Latino white guy, I have no authority to talk about OJ.
You have no authority. I mean, you can talk about whatever you want, homie. We got
I also wasn't even around for it, so that's the other thing.
Oh, yeah. You were like not even a thought.
A glimmer. I wasn't even a glimmer at the time.
You were not even a glimmer.
What year did OJ? OJ was late.
I think it was 96.
Oh, it was that? Okay, so no, I was a glimmer. I was 4.
Okay.
I was 4. I don't remember it happening though. Like,
95.
Oh damn. Yeah, I would have been 3. So I would have been like 2 years
8.
in the United States only.
I was 8 when that was happening. I remember watching the chase actually.
Oh, I remember hearing people joke about it for years, but I didn't really understand why until later.
Yeah, well, because he killed her.
Yeah. Well, I doubt my mom was trying to tell me much about fucking OJ. You know, my dad wouldn't have done it either.
All right, we got another one, which was the Australian woan.
That one I've been following. That one I've been.
Yeah, the woman who said that she like cooks and cleans and stuff. Yeah. And everybody's freaking out about her on the internet and slamming her for some reason.
That goes back to what I was telling you. That's what I was telling you about, like the difference in values on the internet. It's like literally you're having some women who are like, we have all these jobs and we have actually there's a parody account that I think today I retweeted. They're like, the jobs aren't going to get themselves and those abortions aren't going to happen themselves or something like that. Like,
wait, what?
Like they have like more jobs to get. Like feminists are like, we have more jobs to get and more abortions to have. Pretty much saying like,
what?
It was a joke. It was a parody account.
That's not a good joke.
It was a dark joke, but the point.
Wait, so as long as it's not real, I
What?
was like, that's pretty gross.
Well,
Like,
it
I'm
the
not
parody
into
account
that.
was making fun of the movement of like the
Yeah, yeah, no, I get it.
right,
I get it.
but where was I going with that? I was just uh um completely lost now.
So basically, the we're talking about the Australian chick, man.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, the reason I brought it up for the Australian chick, um, dude, no, yeah, on the internet, right? So you have people of different values. So this woman, obviously, her value structure is her family. She like doesn't care about she's not measuring
Well,
herself by anyone else's standards but her family. And so you have these other
yeah.
women who are, when you devote yourself to a career, you can't do the family. It's just the point
Well,
I'm
it's
making
the
is it's
fact
two
that
different
like,
value structures, so no one's right and no one's
well, it's the
wrong.
fact that feminism has become this thing. Like, and when originally it wasn't about women being able to have a choice to do something, which is this
Right,
woman is
right,
choosing to do what she's doing with her husband.
right.
Um,
She's
it's
being
become
conservative.
it's
She's conserving
become
what used to be.
no, it's become
Literally.
like the choice has to be the choice that we've made for you, which is this. And if
Right,
you do the old
right.
thing, then you're not a feminist or something like that,
She's
or like you
well,
can't be in the
if you think
club.
about it, she's taking the blue pill.
I think she's taking the red pill.
The thing is, when you look at it from like the female's perspective, like if their red pill is to become a man, essentially to get the career, to take the
Yeah, I think that's a blue pill because that's staying in the matrix.
right. But the thing is, it's almost like there's a guy red pill and a girl red pill, you know?
Yeah, but so the girl red pill would be what this woman is doing is
Exactly.
like
That's the point I'm
doing what
making.
her doing, staying at
Right.
home with her husband, or
That's
like
precisely it.
doing all the home stuff. I mean, it's not like they don't have side hustles, but the guy
Right.
is doing like he works like 6 days a
They
week in construction
right.
or something like
No,
that.
no.
So it's
I
like,
looked in their story.
you know,
They own a gym, a mixed martial
yeah,
arts gym, and she actually helps them there too.
yeah, and apparently they breed
Right.
bulldogs and stuff
Right.
like
Yeah.
that too.
They
But
bred animals. Yeah.
he also works construction 6 days a week.
I didn't
That's
know
one of their
that.
side hustles.
Oh shoot! I thought that was a full
That's
time
their
gig.
side
He
hustle. They
also
do
does
side hustles
construction.
together.
Oh, God
Yeah.
bless him, man. That dude sounds like a
Yeah, that's what I'm
hustler.
saying. So it's not like she's not helping him build and doing
Right.
stuff,
Yeah,
but
I heard that too.
it's like the last thing that he should be doing if he's like going out to a labor intensive job 6 days a week is cooking and cleaning. That makes no
Right.
damn sense.
Right. Right. Well, and that's the thing is,
That's not an even
I
division of
think
labor.
I think cooking is a very underappreciated thing. Like to be able to do your own cooking. Like
Right, yeah.
I love cooking for myself just because one, it's like meditative for me. It's like when you're just focused on cooking, you can let go. But also, it's a skill. Like to be able to cook well for a group of people. Like I don't want to have to go get carry out every time it's more than 4 people. It's like
Yeah, I mean, like,
to be able to
I mean,
make a
she's
spread
doing
is
it for
good.
like 4 kids.
That's
You
what
know
I'm
what I
saying.
mean?
Like that's not easy. Like
Yeah,
to
exactly.
say
Like,
that
it's
that's
like,
not one important or two
right, right,
difficult.
right.
That's completely
Well, these people's argument is that he should be doing it in jail, but it's like you're not taking into account like his labor,
that
what
one.
he puts into
Did
it.
you talk about that like Good Morning Australia?
Yeah.
Okay, you talked about that.
Yeah, man.
What
Yeah, I mean, like that one guy, he's like, "Get off your bum and do something."
yeah,
It's like,
that's just
dude, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up, dude. Like, he is getting off his bum, man. Like, if
well
you took 5 seconds to realize that, to like check him out, you would know that. But you're just sitting here trying to be like woke for these women, except for that one woman who was like, maybe she likes her husband and she just
oh
wants to
yeah.
spend
I
time.
forgot that.
And I'm
It's
like,
almost
yeah,
funny that
dude,
that's in the same
maybe
clip
that's
too.
it.
Because it's funny that that's in the same clip because it's literally the exact opposite of what that one dude was just ranting about. Because that actually, I was wondering when I saw that clip because that guy seems like he probably is not married.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know actually. Let me
Like
go back to the clip and like maybe
I
we
would
can look
assume that he
at the ring, 'cause
does.
I think we are able to see his hands. I actually didn't look at that.
That guy probably makes his own breakfast, and that's probably why he said he's like, yeah, he should make his own breakfast like I do. Was probably like
I
the
mean, like, you know what I mean?
because
My
I don't have a
lady
wife.
together, you know what I'm saying? And like, but like, yeah, she'll like do breakfast or whatever sometimes, or whatever. And I'll do breakfast sometimes, whatever. But that's because we both have jobs and shit.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So it's like,
But she has structured her day to be available for her husband. Like I'm sure
right.
she has plenty to do when he's gone, but she just makes sure that she's awake when he's
She
leaving.
does because she still looks hot, so she's keeping herself looking
Hell
hot.
yeah.
That's
Well,
that's for
I'm
sure.
not. I'm not even saying that. Like reading fucking
I mean,
books.
that's the thing to do. This guy does not have a wedding ring on.
I told you, like.
He's definitely not married.
So the point I'm
That's a good
making
point.
is when he said, I mean, it was like a judgment call I made as soon as I first saw the screen. Is like, there's a good chance that guy's not married or even in a relationship. So when he says, "Oh yeah, he should make his own breakfast," it's like I do. Is probably the one thing he like was holding off, like he wanted to say but didn't admit.
Yeah.
Like if I have to
It's
make
like,
my own breakfast, you better make your own breakfast too. Fucking
because he's a simp.
complete simp.
Because he's a simp.
Let's hold off on the simp talk.
We got we're like an hour in, bro.
Oh, are we? Oh.
We're like 15 minutes in.
Oh, well, we
That
had
was the segue.
yeah, we had a couple people
Man.
watching earlier, but yeah, simps. Actually, what is the definition of a simp? Because I'm basing it mostly off.
I mean, there's lots of definitions. I mean, I'm just basically just gonna say.
I'm going to Urban Dictionary right now because that's why I love reading it. Okay.
Yeah, and it says a man who puts himself in a subservient or submissive position under women in hopes of winning them over without the female bringing anything to the table.
Oof, big oof there. Happens all the time.
A man who puts too much value on a female for no reason.
And if you look on Urban Dictionary, the usage of it was not existent until November of 2019.
No, this one is looking at 2012.
The one I'm looking on Urban Dictionary.
I see 2000 from 2012.
Oh, really?
That's the top definition. The 2019 one says a simp is a nigga who gives all their some weak ass. Gives their all to some weak ass.
Bro, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, you're right.
That's what it says.
That's the definition. I'm looking on the right side of the page. It says activity, and it only spiked in the last couple months.
Oh, I don't see that actually on my page.
Well, on my page, there's like a graph, and it's like pretty much non-existent until literally November of 2019 was the first time there's like a difference in variance. Then like it's literally grown.
Oh,
like
I do see it.
times
I do see it
in
now.
the last couple
months. I saw it for a second.
Well, that's one of the things I like going to Urban Dictionary about is you can like see the trends.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's literally a new trend.
November 2019.
The reason I want to talk about simps on Valentine's Day is think about the whole concept of Valentine's Day when you're not in a committed relationship, right? Because obviously, if you're in a committed relationship, if your mother, father, that's one of the things that really binds people. I think treat your queen, treat her like a queen when you're out.
Sure.
But the thing is, if you're just simping out for friend, rest in peace to all those souls tonight, man, that are tucking themselves into bed after they took a woman out. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess so. Like,
that's
my thing is, it's like I saw this tweet the other day, and I thought it was funny. It was yesterday about this, and it said Valentine's Day test: buy her nothing. If she gets upset, then that means that she's upset with the quality of your sad dick. Basically. I was like, that's actually pretty on point, bro.
I don't know. I think there's more to the table than that.
No way, man. Because like realistically, women don't really look for that much from men, man. If they don't. If you make them feel safe, if you give them good dick, then they're fine.
I'd like to think we're more than a wallet and a dick harness. Like,
wait, I didn't say anything about money. I said if you make them feel safe.
Oh, safe. I thought you said don't buy anything.
Yeah,
don't buy anything for Valentine's Day.
I did say that. Don't buy anything. So then, yeah, exactly. That's the point. So that actually strengthens my point. Okay. We're more than a wallet. So why do you care if I buy you something?
Right.
You
shouldn't.
Right. But like, I think that's pretty funny. I think that's a pretty funny one, especially because it's like you're right. This whole holiday is like, it's like it's basically about getting guys to simp.
Right. That's the point. Well, and here's why I wanted to bring it up is I worked lunch today. Actually, I was supposed to have a day off, but a coworker of mine who's very nice to me, she said she couldn't watch her kids, so I worked lunch, which I hate working lunch, but it was priceless in the perspective because I forgot the restaurant I work at is right next to O'Malley's Chocolate. Now, you probably never heard of O'Malley's Chocolate, but it's a company that's been in business since 1935. It's a gigantic chain in Ohio that's based in Cleveland. And being a Clevelander, we're very loyal to our own brands. So the dudes in the area just Valentine's Day, like every year, the Good Morning Cleveland has the fact that there's cars wrapped around the block at midnight, to get chocolate covered strawberries and stuff. You know what I mean? So I was right next to one of their retail outlets, And dude, like, we weren't very busy, but I saw so many guys. And the thing is, I got to see the looks on their faces as they're walking out with their chocolates.
Yeah.
And every one of them, it was like, no, not everyone. There's old dudes who are doing it like slowly with like pride. And then there's young dudes who are just like, fuck, I got to do this. I got to get some flowers. I got to, like, you can see it on their face, like, I got so much other shit to do today.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, oh, that just, I hope that they're fine, but I was just like, there's a sad desperation in their eye. I'm like, that's
Well,
rough.
that would be, I mean, if it's the day of, then that means that they're being dumb.
That's the other
Like, if
thing I
they
was
know that
thinking.
their girl, like, is like that. But also, it's like,
I don't buy
again,
stuff
I
every
think,
time,
dude,
so-
I think if you make your girl feel safe and secure with you and
Yeah.
you give her good dick, you don't even have to worry about Valentine's Day. Because
Okay.
she's going to want to just, like, fuck you
Well,
on Valentine's Day.
I mean, I'm not
Like,
saying
you know
you're
what I'm
wrong about
saying?
the good
Like,
dick,
on some
but
real
like,
shit.
I know a lot of relationships are pretty asexual, and like that's the only thing.
Yeah, that's
I'd
weird.
I'd keep
Can't
that
do
out
that.
of my broad stroke analysis, but I would
I
say
wouldn't
good dick is
asexual
definitely a positive factor for retention.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, this kind of stuff, it resonates more with women than it does with men. That's why men do that whole thing where they wait last minute and they fucking freak out because they know realistically, if you're freaking out about that, you are not satisfying your woman emotionally
Oh,
and
right.
sexually.
Right.
On some real shit, bro.
Or there's been a fight recently, and you're just trying to win brownie
I
points.
mean, that's the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
It's a bargain.
Like, you know-
Well, realistically, I watched a bunch of guys buy bargaining tools. What they did. I was watching
Yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly.
Like that's some quid pro quo shit right there. That's I give you chocolate, you give me blowjob, you give me massage. Like I don't know what people are fighting for, but it's a bargaining chip for the
Right.
relationship. And
Right, exactly. So
like that's
it's
such
like,
a reductionist thing too. It's like
yeah, I agree.
ah,
I think that's pretty bad. So I think that I agree with that whole thing. That makes guys not just don't be a simp. Don't fall into that
don't
shit, man.
simp out. Don't simp out.
Fucking you know.
So I mean, what's the advice here? Because we just outlined this, and we should probably. I'm not saying you probably have an answer.
Satisfy
Right
your woman emotionally and physically, and you don't have to worry about Valentine's Day.
That's fair.
That's the advice.
She's not gonna be disappointed if you are. If she's not gonna be, her expectations will be reasonable.
Dude, I'm away from my chick right now.
That's
I'm
actually
not
a
with
good
my
point.
chick right now,
That's a
and
good point.
she's still stoked on me.
Yeah, that's how it should be.
You know what I mean?
But are
Like,
you even
it's like-
sweating it right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you
Like,
shouldn't.
we're gonna
you
be
shouldn't
good when I
sweating
see
it.
her. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna go see Sonic the movie and shit and nerd out, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know what I mean? Motherfuckers like get really so worried about the day and all that kind of stuff. It's like,
Well, and there's a certain kind of
should
girl
be-
who likes making guys sweat like that. You know.
Well, I
that's
mean,
just
like-
part of their personality.
well, you should be celebrating each other every day, dude, and
Exactly.
making this whole thing just about
Right.
this one day is stupid as fuck.
It
because
is
then
stupid as fuck.
You're putting this thing, all this pressure on this one day,
Right.
dude. That's
Well,
not gonna
and-
fucking
and,
turn out.
There's
well.
so many like phrases about expectations. Like expectations
Right.
are it's bad for both parties because like when
Right.
when the woman comes in with these expectations and they're not met or they're met differently, that's a horrible example too. Like if a girl like wants a guy to buy like a bunch of this and instead he like plans out like a nice dinner and she's like, well, I thought we were going out. It's like, well, maybe he put a lot of time into like cooking something
Yeah.
for you and you just wanted to go out and be seen. But
Yeah,
it's like, did
I
he
mean,
not
like-
care about you, or did the expectation you had not meet the expectation he had, and the effort was still there? That's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
scenario
like-
that's like
Expectations lead to disappointment is what
Completely.
it is, cuz.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that like you can't have expectations of
No.
your partner. It's just like when you put it in these things that are contextually, they're really not relevant to the overall health of your relationship. If you have like that much need and desire to put this thing, right, that has nothing to do with you guys, like that's like the celebration of like, I don't know, killing some dude, basically. Some random day.
that's a weird way to describe it, but
I mean,
I'm
that's
gonna roll
the
with it.
truth.
I'm not even gonna. No, that's
know,
that's why I'm not even gonna.
But like, if you that has some day that really has has origin in something that has nothing to do with your relationship,
Yeah.
that's fucking dumb. Like, you don't even have a relationship.
No, you don't.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that's just kind of
that's the
ridiculous.
thing.
So that's kind of how I feel about it. I mean, it's not like
I'm
but again, like
horrible.
if
I'm
you're
horrible
satisfying a
remembering
woman
like first
emotionally and
dates and
physically, you don't
anniversaries.
have to worry about that shit, and she's gonna just want to fuck you on Valentine's Day, and you're gonna be
That's
good.
fair. Yeah, I mean,
Like that's the
that's the
truth.
goal. That's the goal. Let's
She's
be
just gonna
real.
be like, it's Valentine's Day. I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you,
Yeah,
and great, and great.
and
That's what's
great,
gonna happen, man.
and move
You
on.
just like don't simp,
Don't
because if
sip
you
out.
simp, you make them upset. You upset them. They don't
Yeah,
like that.
well, yeah. Simping actually, to follow up, simping is not meeting expectation by trying to fulfill your own expectations of what women want, but not what they actually want. You know, it's following what they told you to do and not what they actually want you to do. Because if you
Right.
listen to what women say
Exactly.
they want, you're never gonna be right because they're never telling you what they actually want. They want you to
Right.
figure it out.
Exactly.
So to me, simping is when when she's like, "Hey, I could really use someone to get me some coffee," and you actually go get her coffee. She's like, "Wow, okay, I didn't actually think you'd get me coffee." Half the time.
Well, it's also. I mean, like people
You have
put
to
into this
pick your
definition.
battles.
They put into this definition this thing about like it being about like a girl that's not going to get with you. But what I'm saying is, you can simp when you're in a relationship.
Oh, that's fair too.
You know what I
Well,
mean,
see,
like
I've been in a single mindset for a while, so that's kind of where I linger.
you can totally simp when you're in a relationship. A
Completely,
lot of
yeah,
guys
yeah.
default back to simpness when they get into a
Yeah,
relationship.
especially
Actually,
the longer you get into it, maybe I can see that being an issue.
well, I mean, almost immediately
Yeah.
because then it's like you feel like. Well, I don't know. I think I have a theory that maybe it shuts down like the hunter aspect of a dude, like the
Mm,
freedom aspect of a dude sometimes.
yeah.
But I think that realistically, no, like if you find a woman whose energy's right, like it's not going to shut that piece of you down. You're
Right.
still going to
Well,
be able to like
she should want
lead her.
that pilot light to always be going. She doesn't want
Right,
your
right,
light to
exactly.
burn.
She does want that.
Yeah, maybe she
She
doesn't
does.
want you, going overboard all the time, but she doesn't want your fire to go out ever,
Right. Well,
ever,
because
ever,
she was
ever.
attracted to that in the first place,
Right.
and that's the thing a lot of guys don't get.
Right.
So it's dumb, and that's when you start doing stuff like that and being dumb, and then you're doomed. You're fucking
Yeah.
doomed.
Well, none of that's gonna happen. Not in the
For
future.
who?
For our listeners, man, the Unbeefables, they know better than that.
Nobody's gonna
There's
be
no
simp.
simps here. This is a no simp zone, dude.
No simp zone. No simp
No, there's
zone.
no simp for the simps. There's no simp. Sympathy. Wow, that really. Yeah, you're the artist here. I can't. I can't
There's no
handle it. I was
sympathy
trying to say
for the
there's no simp.
simps.
No simps for
No
the simps.
sympathy for those motherfucking simps.
Yeah. See, you're the one who's better with the words.
But that's it, man. That's all I got today, man. That's all I got for you.
All right, man. Well, it's been good. Let's call this quits and until next time, brother.
Hey, yo, before we sign
Oh
off, though, you
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
be
Drop your
like, yo,
plug.
this is where you find my shit. So you go
Drop
first, man.
it. Yeah. Me?
Drop it like a
Oh,
hot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Drop it like it's hit
I've
on.
rebranded as Mike Pause on Twitter, YouTube. That's pretty much it. Go there, check it out. It's pretty cool. If you like it, tell me to do more.
Mike pause.
Make sure you like the stuff you like, and feel free to dislike if you don't like it, because then I know how to not do shit. So
No, don't let them fucking change you. Listen, you can find me on YouTube at
change you.
youtube.com/Mr. Behavior. You can find me on Twitch or at twitch.tv/Mr. Behavior. You can find me on Twitter at Real Mr. Behavior. And I'm on
Ah,
Instagram too, Mr. Behavior. I never use it. But fucking check me out because I got videos Monday through Friday on YouTube. It's fucking dope. Killing it. Crushing that. Crushing it.
I'm feeling it, man. Like a blind man sees.
Watch those videos and shit. And thanks for listening and hanging out if you came and hung out. And if you're watching this or listening to this on audio, you are fucking cool too, I guess.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Kevin Hart. Later.
Okay.